Today we're going to talk about herbaceous cuttings and another step that you can take toward getting your garden a little ready a little bit sooner. So today we're going to be using a coleus variety that we have in front. We'll start with the containers that we'll use today. I have two in front of me, different types. We have just your typical 606 cell packs. The other one will be the seed germination tray. You can either use either or. If you're nice and neat and organized, these plants will come out as plugs then once you go into the garden, or you can just take them directly out of the seed germination tray that doesn't have any dividers and go straight to the garden as well. So I'll use the 606 tray for the demonstration today. In here I have a pre-made media mix. It's a combination of perlite as well as a seed germination mix. That's really it for the media. You're just looking for something well drained. As far as the plant material, we're going to be using herbaceous plant material today. There's 4 different types of cuttings. You have your herbaceous, which a lot of your succulent plant growth, your your softwoods, which is new spring growth, and then semi-hardwood and hardwood cuttings that are a lot of tree species and stuff like that. So today we're just going to be dealing with the herbaceous plant material. When taking these cuttings, it's ideal to use a sanitized razor blade for this. You can use pruners or scissors of sort, but I try to stay away from that because that creates a crushing action and damages the plant more than a nice clean razor blade cut would do. So when taking these cuttings, you're going to be looking for the nodes of the plant. Everywhere a leaf axil comes out of the plant is a node. So you're ideally looking for a minimum of 2 nodes per cutting. What's going to happen is that's going to promote your adventitious rooting below the soil line and your adventitious shoot growth above the soil line. So a minimum of 2 nodes, ideally 2 nodes below and 1 above. The last node that you have, the rest of the stem, you don't want a huge long piece sticking off of this. It's just going to desiccate and die back and potentially cause more problems. So you want to get fairly close to that last node and cut that off. To aid in the rooting, the adventitious rooting of these plant materials, there's multiple different rooting hormones that you can use, different products. Every store is going to have a little bit different one. There's liquid formulations I'll be using today, as well as powdered formulations. The powdered ones, I just suggest that you pre-drill the holes before you stick the cuttings, because if you just use the cutting to stick the hole in, it's going to rub off on the way down. So, and again, it's just a quick dip. Nothing, you don't have to let it soak or anything like that. And then you're going to stick that cutting. And again, pre-drilling, I usually just use the end of a marker and then stick that cutting in there and kind of loosely compact around there. You'll notice that there's a lot of leaf material around this cutting. Now that we've cut all the root material off of this cutting, it's not going to have any way to bring up water or nutrients from the soil. So we're going to have to reduce this leaf tissue area with the razor blade, some of this leaf material, and you can remove whole leaves, half leaves, it doesn't really matter. Just a reduction of that leaf surface area to reduce the metabolism rate of that cutting. Once this occurs, you can go through the whole flat, and for this one it'd be 36 cuttings. It does take a couple weeks for this to heal off, callus, and then for root initials to form. So you're looking at a minimum of 2 weeks before you probably start seeing any form of root initials. For post care, you're looking for a humid environment. You can do this by putting those clear domes over the top, but then after they've healed off, you want to reduce the light intensity as well, since you want to reduce that metabolism rate. And as it goes on, you can increase that light, kind of harden them off, so that way when you put them out in the garden, they don't have any issues.